First of all, I'm very grateful to all of you, especially Chandra Prabhu for inviting me. And I was reading a couple hours back in the temple. I just came from temple, Alacho temple. And I was reading the verse. This is one of the, of course, each verse is very unique. This is a verse very appealing to our heart. So out of his mercy, he probably assigned that to me. And I would be grateful for that. I'm also eternally grateful to Srila Prabhupada for creating such a wonderful society called ISKCON, where sadhu sangha are available. This is the most rare, precious thing in this Kali Yuga, is the sadhu sangha. Because through sadhu sangha, when we reciprocate, you get 5 results. Parasparam anukatham, pavanam bhagavad jaso. With sadhu sangha, we can glorify Lord Krishna. And when we glorify Lord Krishna, his quality, his name, it purifies our consciousness, our existence, our connection. When that purification takes place, we develop a friendly relationship with amongst the devotees. Without Krishna Katha, friendly relationship will not develop amongst the devotees. Then when friendly relationship develops, then we feel satisfied. Mitho tusti, no, mitho roti, mitho tusti. Nibrite mitho atmana. And when we feel satisfied with the devotee association, glorifying Krishna, then the cause of all the suffering is forgetting our relationship with God, caused attraction to sense gratification, will go down. Then we are completely free in loving service with Krishna. So with that note, today I was assigned to discuss about 2nd chapter, text 46. Am I right, Ram Tulsi Prabhu? 246.
Yes.
If possible, maybe you can put it, you can share it on the screen. Okay, that's great. Now, before we are reciting, this is from 2nd chapter. 2nd chapter is one of the chapter that Prabhupada calls this summary of entire Bhagavad-Gita. So if you can grasp 2nd chapter, you can get the essence of entire Bhagavad-Gita. If you look at it, Prabhupada write the Gita summarized, content of Gita summarized. He gives an English title. Bhagavan Krishna, he never actually gave any title of any chapter. He only had a conversation to reconnect Arjuna's position, and through Arjuna to all of us. So he spoke, then Vyasdev divided, and other acharyas, including Prabhupada, gives a different name of the different chapter. Just like 3rd chapter Prabhupada calls Karma Yoga, it's action in Krishna consciousness. Then chapter 4, he does not say Jnana Yoga. He just writes transcendental knowledge. So it's very unique, each person, each acharya gives. So this chapter, just to give you a brief so you know where we are, is began with Jnana Yoga. Because Arjuna did not want to fight. He was overwhelmed as a Kshatriya. He wants to kill the aggressor to protect the innocent. But then he found innocent and aggressor both are same. His own cousin, grandfather. And so it was very difficult. So then he chose the path of Jnana Yoga, but then Krishna convinced him to do the Karma Yoga. Very scientifically, this chapter given. So first is Jnana Yoga, no fighting. But then Krishna explains slowly that how text 1 to 10, as you have finished, Arjuna surrender and inquire. Then 11 to 30, two knowledge, two types of knowledge is essential in our life, Prabhupada writes. First is Atmagyan. So 11 to 30 was Atmagyan, where Krishna gives who is the soul, indestructible. So therefore he was encouraging him. Even if you fight, they never die really. These are just the body. So it's very nice. Compassion with the knowledge. Then 31 to 38, Lord Krishna was encouraging Arjuna to do his dharma as a Kshatriya. We are all born with a particular nature. We are born with a particular nature. Whether we like or not, it's going to come on your way. You want to become pure devotee tomorrow? You can. But those things that you are born with, it's going to push you away from that. So we have to be recognizing and act on it. So that was 31 to 38. Then 39 to 53rd, where we are in the middle, it's Nishkam Karma Yoga. Nishkam Karma Yoga, that means no action, no renunciation. But he said, you don't have to do action or renunciation. You do action in renunciation. I hope everybody understands the difference. Means fight with detachment, then there is no sinful reaction. Now Arjuna's point was that people do karma kanda to get good result. If I do Nishkam Karma Yoga, will I ever enjoy anything? Say yes. This is also is going to explain. Yes, you will enjoy. All the result of enjoyment will be there. And today's verse actually promote this. But at the same time, you will not have any sinful reaction. If you are doing in the mood of yoga, samuttam, yoga uchyate, then you will not get any sinful reaction. So 38 to 53rd, we are in the middle, 46. Krishna answered Arjuna's fear of sinful reaction argument. So with that note, we are beginning today's verse. Hopefully everybody is now intact. Javan Artha Udapan. Oh, we are just going to probably recite because this is Zoom. Javan Artha Udapane Sarvataha Samutplata Uddake Tavan Sarvesu Vedesu Brahmanasya Vijanata. Javan Artha Udapane Sarvata Sam Utplata Uddake Tavan Sarvesu Vedesu Brahmana Asya Vijanata. Synonyms, Prabhupada writes, Javan, all that, Artha is meant, Udapane, in a well of water, Sarvata, in all respect, Sam Pluta, Udake, in great reservoir of water, Taban, similarly, Sarveshu, in all, Vedeshu, Vedic literature, Brahmanasya, of the man who knows the supreme Brahman, Vijanat, of one who is complete knowledge. Translation and purport. By his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All purposes that are served by the small pond can at once be served by the great reservoirs of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Purport. The rituals and sacrifice mentioned in the Karma Kanda division of the Vedic literature are of encourage gradual development of self-realization. And the purpose of self-realization is clearly stated in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, 15:15. The purpose of studying the Vedas is to know Lord Krishna, the primeval cause of everything. So self-realization means understanding Krishna, one's eternal relationship with him. The relationship of the living entity with Krishna is also mentioned in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. The living entities are parts and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, revival of Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.7 as follows. Oho vata sa pachota goriyan jajjibhagre vartate namutubham tepustapaste juhubo shasnurarja brahmanuchara namagrinnanti jete. O my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family like that of a Chandal, dog eater, is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literature many, many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered to be the best of Aryan family. So one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of the Vedas without being attached to the rituals only, and must not desire to elevate it to the heavenly kingdom for a better quality of sense gratification. It is not possible for the common man in this age to follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedic rituals and the injunction of Vedantas and the Upanishads. It requires much time and energy, knowledge and resource to execute the purpose of the Vedas. This is hardly possible in this age. The best purpose of Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of all fallen souls. When Lord Chaitanya was asked by a great Vedic scholar, Prakashananda Saraswati, why he, the Lord, was chanting the holy name of the Lord like a like a sentimentalist instead of studying Vedanta philosophy. The Lord replied that his spiritual master found him to be a great fool. Thus he asked him to chant the holy name of the Lord Krishna. He did so because ecstatic like a madman. In this age of Kali, most of the population is foolish and not adequately educated to understand Vedanta philosophy. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. Vedanta is the last word in Vedic wisdom, and the author, knower of the Vedanta philosophy, is Lord Krishna. And the highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of the Vedic mysticism. Give me 1 second. Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. So this is a very important verse. Here Krishna is saying that Javan Artha Udapana Sarvata Sampluto Doke. All the purposes served by variety of wells can easily be fulfilled by a large lake. Now, when you hear this, why Krishna is speaking like this? He is actually answering Arjuna's question. Arjuna was wondering, if I do bhakti, will my karmic result that I want to enjoy, and at the end of life I will get moksha, will I get all this? So Krishna is very kindly giving. Sri Krishna continues, what more can I say about the glories of the bhakti yoga? What is nirguna and nishkam? Even initial endeavors in bhakti are neither lost nor adverse in their effect. In Srimad Bhagavatam, if you look at it, there is a famous verse 11.29.20. Sri Krishna told Uddhava, Nahi ango parakrame dhamso mad dharma ashadhanopi. O Uddhava, I have established the transcendental nature of this dharma. If one engage in this selfless dharma for my sake, there is not the least possibility that it may lead to lose by fault or degradation. But then Krishna give a little warning. However, in this context, Vyavasa Atmika Buddhi, resolute intelligence, also indicates Sakam Bhakti Yoga. See, Bhagavan uses an example to prove this. Now, when he speaks the sloka beginning with the word Javan, since Udapane is a singular noun, those who are aware of the Sanskrit, you can see it. It has been used here in a similar case. Here the word Udapane indicates a group of wells. Now in Vedic culture, if you go to India, still today, in some sophisticated village people, they have a one well for all the villagers to get their drinking water. Then they have another well. They use it for taking bath. They lift up, with the bucket, they pull the water and use it for bathing. Then they have a latrine. They don't have an attached bathroom like in the West we have. In India also, in the city they have. But in the village, they don't have these things. They have like a toilet, things are far. And there is some water facility with little well. So they have a different well for different things. You have to look at from that angle. So then Krishna says that all these well serve different purposes. But if you live next to Ganges, I saw in Ganges, Mayapur, when we were living, those who are living next to the Ganges, they don't have any well. They don't need any well. Why? Because the Ganges water current flowing, this water does drinking, bathing, even your ablution, everything you do. Same water they use it because it has a current and it flows. So Krishna is comparing, if you do bhakti, then you don't need to separately endeavor for anything. It will not only provide you what you need now, it will also provide you future and ultimate entrance to spiritual world. The glory of bhakti is promoted in this verse. I'm sure you all are familiar with famous verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada quote this many times. 2.3.10 Bhagavatam. Veda akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradi tibrena bhakti yogena jajeto purusham param. Whether you have a desire to enjoy material world or you have a desire to get out of the material world, or you have no desire, or you have too much desire, does not matter. Bhagavatam says, do bhakti, do Krishna conscious. Now you'll say, well, will I get cheated? You'll say, no sense gratification. You're doing bhakti, Prabhu. No sense gratification. You may think like, okay, will I get cheated? Like, really, like, I will not get any sense gratification. Like one of Prabhupada's disciple, I won't say the name because I love him too. He says, I don't mind, I have no interest to merge into the Brahman effulgence, but I don't mind of checking out the heaven before I go to spiritual world. Now, some of you have probably heard it. Prabhupada did say, some of my disciples will go to heaven before they go to spiritual world. And that devotee told me, he's a scholar. He has a Sanskrit in PhD. Oh, now you'll probably figure it out. Anyway, doesn't matter. So he said, Pran Govind, I feel like I want to just stop by in heaven. I said, why are you saying stop by? Why don't you say you want to enjoy heavenly enjoyment, sense gratification, ultimate heaven? You want to just really do it. It's all right. Nothing wrong. Now you say, how is that nothing wrong? Well, I want you to look at one verse. There is a beautiful verse in Bhagavatam. Krishna himself spoke to Uddhava. It's 11th canto, 20 chapter, text 32-33. It's one of my favorite verses. Of course, all our favorite verse. The verse is beautiful. Sometimes I chant just out of happiness. Jat karma bhir jat tapasya gena vairagya jatascha jat jogena dana dharmena sreyaviritare api sarvam mad bhakti jogena mad bhakta lavate anjasa sarga apavarga madhama katanchi jodi banchati. So I'm going to translate my way, what I understand, because I love that verse. It's like candy. You can chew it. Krishna is speaking to Uddhava, but you can chew that candy Krishna is giving. If someone develops faith, now I hope everybody remember, if you have two things, you can detach from this material world. Take sannyas, or get out of the family life, or get out of the material designation, karma and everything. Tavat karmani kurvita no niravedya javata. Two things. Tavat karmani kurvita. You have to do your karma up to this. No niravedya javata. Ask yourself, am I satisfied with the life I have? I'm done. Yes, I don't need. I'm happy. I don't want any more. What I enjoyed in life, I'm done. If you can answer yes, you don't have any more craving, become rich, or enjoy TV, sex, whatever the enjoyment in this material world. If you say, no, Prabhu, I'm done. I really done. Like not 2 hours after that, you feel like maybe I should enjoy. No, I'm not talking about that. Niravedya means you are satiated. You really convince yourself, I do not need anymore. I can live without it. That's one. Tavat karmani kurvita no niravedya javata. Mat katha sravanadova. Mat katha. Do you feel like, I want to hear about Krishna more? I feel like I never get enough. I want more, more, more. I was a little crazy. I used to sleep with the Prabhupada's MP3. There was a time I was like so addicted to that. Prabhupada's lecture when first came. It's about 20 years back or 18 years back. It was so wonderful. So I look at back. Now, Krishna says, if you have these two, satiated from sense enjoyment, and you are attracted to Krishna consciousness, like you cannot live without hearing it. If you whole day, if you don't hear about Krishna, you feel like you are miserable. If you really have that feeling, genuine feeling, you don't have to tell anyone, you check your own feeling and own attraction. Then you are ready to be out of this world. That doesn't mean you have to die. You can be in this body, but your connection with Krishna will be there. When you feel a strong attraction to hear, means you are connected to the pure goodness. Tamal Krishna Maharaj founded this in Europe. We were traveling together in 1989 in Europe. Bhakti Charu Maharaj, myself, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and one more devotee were going South France to Italy, here, there. It was very nice, few months. So Maharaj was making very nice point. So this was one point that Prabhupada told Maharaj, that the moment a devotee feels very deep attraction to Krishna, like nobody is encouraging you, you just feel like, I want to hear more, I want to hear more about Krishna. Means you are connected to pure goodness. You literally transcended three modes. This is one way to check. So very nice. If you have these two. Now, back to this verse. If someone develops faith in Krishna topics, has a desire for heavenly enjoyment, just like this Prabhupada's disciple, he's a very nice devotee, but he's very honest. Or liberation. I'm just tired of this material life. Can I just be like aloof, not get affected by modes? Just for the sake of it. Do not be judgmental or sentimental. Be sincere and thoroughly honest. Ask yourself where you are. What level of consciousness you are. Then Krishna says, very nice. You look at that verse and you tell me. You'll fall in love with Krishna through that verse. Krishna says, results of karma and gyan. You want heavenly enjoyment, you want liberation. Since he has not given up his taste for those things, what happened to him? What will happen to him? That's the question. Well, Krishna says the answer is two verses he combined. He says, yes, itarai means auspicious act, like a bow. In India, you'll see, even in America, they have a Red Cross society. In India, I saw people like to give blanket in winter, donation. They put a water spigot here, there to give free. You go to holy places, you give some donation to the poor beggars. Even here, homeless, you feed the homeless and like this. People are doing all these things. But Krishna says, even if you do all these things, it's not benefiting you ultimately, because you have to take birth to get. But if you do bhakti and you have the desire to do those, Krishna will fulfill, but you will be eternally happy. It's a little switching your focus, that's all. Now, let's talk about practical life. Somebody has a material desire, like who? Vipra Sudama, his wife. Sudama Vipra did not ask for anything. He wanted to remain poor. That was the biggest problem. Why he never became rich until he met Krishna. Because he used to pray every day. My Lord, you are so kindly gave me your association in the school as a school friend. Please do me a favor. Do not send any material opulence. I just need one meal or two meals for me and my wife. Krishna told to Mother Rukmini and her maidservant, every day I would go there and disguise a form and divert people not to come to his house to give him anything. Why? Because all the Brahmana in Dwarka, millions of Brahmana, they are multi-billionaire, each Brahmana. They are wondering, our Lord's best classmate has a cloth, it's so, I would say, poverty-stricken that he had a nuts. I don't know if you will understand. In village, when you don't have a proper cloth, they put a nut so that it doesn't fall apart. They put a little nuts. I saw that. You can still see if you go to village. So they just, because they're poor. So Vipra Sudama had this kind of. Now, Krishna declared, because all the maidservant of Mother Rukmini were doubting, how can he be the best friend? And Mother Rukmini being the Mahalakshmi, not Lakshmi. Lakshmi is from Vaikuntha. She is Mahalakshmi. She's fanning a person who doesn't have anything. How do it make sense? So Krishna revealed, he said he prays every day. So it is my duty to reciprocate with the devotee. So I go there every day from Dwarka, disguised form, and divert people not to bring anything except 2 meals. But now he has come. Krishna knows that his wife wants opulence. And he got. She saw so much opulence. Now let's see about sense enjoyment. You may say, as a Prabhu, you may say, I want to be serious devotee, but I like to enjoy also girls. Or a Mataji to man or something. Look at Chitraketu. 7 days serious austerity, serious bhakti, 7 days only. By Narad Muni's blessing, he had darshan. He got pure bhakti from the darshan of Lord Shankarshan. Then after he developed the bhakti, he said, my Lord, I still have some desire not fulfilled. I want to travel in an airplane with all those beautiful singer girls from Gandharva Loka, from Vidyadhar, because he was a Vidyadhar family. Did Lord deprive him? Or you became devotee, no more sense gratification? No. You can read, Prabhupada gave this very nice explanation in 6th canto. That Chitraketu was traveling with all those girls and singing the glory. Sukdev Goswami, another example of liberation. He wanted to be liberated not after he comes out of the womb of mother, before even he comes. Vasudev said, don't worry, I'll train you up. Say, I cannot trust you. You are a family man. Who do you trust? Only Krishna. Krishna had to come from Dwarka to Vasudev's place in Badrinath just to assure Sukdev Goswami, yes, come out. You are liberated. Don't worry. So you can go on so many examples of this verse. But what is the main point? Main point is bhakti. We need to be Krishna conscious. If we can somehow or other become Krishna conscious by the help of the devotees, by chanting, by following the rules, strictly do little austerity, then you are done. Oh, my heart will be purified. No, isn't Prabhu, when before I met the Lord, the heart will be purified? Yes, but Lord will not deprive you. Dhruva Maharaj wanted bigger kingdom than his grandfather. I'm sure you all are familiar with it. So he met the Lord. Did he get deprived? No. But he changed his mind. He said, I did a mistake. I don't want kingdom. I want you, my Lord. I want to serve you. You are so beautiful. I was looking for a broken glass. I got diamond. But Lord says, still, you wanted to enjoy the kingdom. You have to get it. Well, I'm not promoting this, but I'm giving you a reference from Bhagavatam. That this verse is so wonderful that if we can understand the essence of this verse, what Krishna is trying to say, that look, don't go this duty, that duty, so many well, this well, that well, this well. But if you live near a big river, then all these wells, whatever the service provides, in one river can do whole thing. River is bhakti, and all this well is like a karma, jnana, this, that, like a so many things. This is what Krishna, out of compassion, love, he's expressing this. And I hope you all understanding my point. So here, Udapane, if you look at that word, I was looking 3 times today, couple hours back. Udapane refers small bodies of water, such a well, as I explained to you. And Samo Utplate means a river type of, or big reservoir of water. So you compare, bhakti is like a big current river, Ganges, and karma jnana is like a little well. Now I can tell you, I have a own experience. Well also has a problem. If well water goes bad, you have no choice. There is no other water. Now you are stuck, probably you have to walk 5 miles to get another well. So current water, bhakti is so better everywhere. But well can dry up. Then what? Karma result, you will get dried up. You enjoy, then life ends, and then you're again beggar. So what is the point of this verse? The point is, if Krishna told Arjuna, look, Veda talks about 3 modes, go beyond the 3 modes. So one has to follow the Vedic literature. How can I give up? So it is not giving up. I hope everybody understood. Krishna is not saying you have to give up. He said, go beyond. Whatever desire you have, don't worry. Keep on going, Krishna consciousness. Go beyond. Okay, I have some desire, like Dhruva Maharaj. He had a desire. He lost the desire, but still Krishna didn't deprive. Chitraketu, Sukdev Goswami, you can go list after list. Many examples. So, how does one go beyond, you may say, with their desire? So he says in Vedic traditional culture, there used to be different that's why this is so wonderful example he gave, which serve different purposes. But when there is a flowing river, because the water in the river is flowing, water is so much that various purposes can be served over there. And the water keeps flowing and flowing, takes care of those things. Similarly, he said, yes, in Vedic literature, there are different things. Okay, for fulfilling this desire. You do this for fulfilling that desire, you do that. In India, I see this. I saw that. Even in America, they have observed different holidays for different purpose. In India, it's like everywhere. This puja, that Manasa Devi, this Devi, that Bhagavan, this. It's like so many. They should stop all this and just chant Hare Krishna, just simple as this. Oh, what about my need? This, everything you will get it. This is Krishna's point. The wells are for the sake of water, and in river, there is so much water. And whatever purpose is there, it can serve to that water. So Veda gives different injunction for different purpose. But what is the ultimate purpose? I love the way Prabhupada put it. Ultimate purpose is Vedasya Sarve Ahameva Vedda, 15:15, he quoted. The purpose of all Vedas is to know Krishna, to love him, to return back to him. So Krishna has not introduced him till now, but he is pointing real purpose of the Vedas is not 3 modes. It is beyond the 3 modes. I hope everybody understood that point. When Prabhupada is saying, he did not mention the 3 modes, but it is that you go beyond the 3 modes. Then what you have to seek? If you see that, then actually you are Brahmanasya Bijanata. Very nice ending Krishna gives. It's like a love song. Krishna loves us so much. It's giving like a love, poetic song. You are Brahmana who knows everything, so you can figure it out. So in this section, Krishna has contrasted karma kanda, karma yoga, and has described how the result of karma kanda are temporary, result of karma yoga are eternal. I hope you all remember that. Karma kanda produce temporary result. You have to restart again, but karma yoga, it is eternal. How one needs to have one-pointed intelligence in contrast with multi-pocket intelligence. Then he said, this will take one beyond the 3 modes towards eternal destination. Nitta Sattasta. Now, we may say, this sounds very good. But Prabhu, I am in the material world. What is the practical reality? There is a famous verse. I'm sure you all are familiar with it. 1846. This is especially for the people who work every day in the material world, who is not sitting in a mountain or Himalayas or I mean, like, those Tyagis. So Krishna, there he explained this very nicely, that if you focus on this, Jata Prabriti Bhutanam, Jena Sarvam Idam Tata, Sakarmana Tam Archa, Siddhim Bindati Manava. Means Siddhim Bindati Manava, one can attain perfection. You may be working in a factory in America, or you have a family, whatever situation you are. This sloka is the result of this sloka that we are reading. Culminates at the end of Bhagavad-Gita. Krishna, Bhagavad-Gita never says karma. What Bhagavad-Gita is saying here, that here is by your work, whatever work you do, whatever occupation you have, worship me with that occupation. How do you do it? By devotion to the Supreme Lord. Translate work. You know how to translate work into worship? Either you learn it, or you take advantage of a senior devotee. Say, Maharaj or Mataji or Prabhuji, whoever the senior devotee, I work in a Microsoft or Google software engineer, I do there. And I have a family, children has to go to school. Can you translate this work as a worship? Can you translate my work as a temple where I'm worshiping through this work? And they will be able to do it. We have many in ISKCON. Then you will see you are doing just like a pujari, but elevated stage. We develop a spiritual consciousness in worshipping Supreme Lord. We carry that consciousness in our work. That is how we become spiritualized. Krishna is not come to the level of Bhakti Yoga in this section, so he is talking as third person. So here he is describing that Supreme Lord. He is describing the characteristic of Supreme Lord. He himself is the origin, Bhagavan, but he's also explaining the characteristics of God. In that sloka, he says, Jata Prabriti Bhutana, from whom all living entity come. Prabriti can mean also living being, all existence. Now, Sri Krishna has talked about he being source of all existence. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu says, Krishna ek sarvasray, Krishna sarvadham, Krishna shaurya sarva vishra visram. The whole world, everything exists within his body. So Krishna has talked about he being source of all existence several times. In 10th chapter, you will see many chapters where he says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo, matta sarvam pravartate. Now, how can Arjuna do his work as a worship? So I'm going to speak how Arjuna, through his inborn nature, inborn means he is a fighter. He cannot give it up. How that becomes a worship. Then we can apply whatever job or service you have, you can apply that same principle. So in this sloka, 1846, Krishna urges Arjuna to worship the Lord through his work. What does this mean? For work to be worshipped, it needs to be done with certain values. The values of dutifulness, detachment, and devotion. So when we cultivate dutifulness, we see our work as our due part in maintaining social order. For example, Kshatriya like Arjuna contribute by protecting people from wrongdoer. When Draupadi was humiliated, all these Kshatriya were polluted their consciousness by not protesting it. Tolerating means supporting. Everybody understand? When you tolerate abuse, means you support actually indirectly. That's Krishna's point. So Kshatriya themselves became wrongdoer, as did Duryodhana, Dushasana. Their work is not worship. That's why common translation of this Bhagavad-Gita verse as work is worship is a mistranslation. So when we cultivate detachment, does that mean we don't care for the result of our work? No. It means we understand that result depends on factors beyond our role. And we gracefully accept whatever result comes by divine arrangement. And without such detachment, our heart becomes locked to the result. So indeed, those results may be said to become our object of worship. With detachment, our heart becomes open to bigger realities. For example, the lesson the Lord wants to teach us, ultimately the divine love He wants to share with us. When we cultivate devotion, we see our work as a means to please the Lord. For an example, say you are working in a Microsoft or wherever, Google or somewhere. I know one of the Zoom member is working with Google's, through the text sent to me. Now your family, they are devotee. Krishna provided this job to maintain this Krishna's family. So actually you are a servant of Krishna and serving the Vaishnavas. This itself is a surrender. And by such work, your heart will become increasingly attracted to Krishna. That state of consciousness has to be there within our heart. Then we'll realize that Krishna is far more valuable than any worldly result of our work. He is life's ultimate treasure. And this is what Gita's battlefield context. Krishna's guidance helps Arjuna infuse his fighting with dutifulness, detachment, devotion. So work is not automatically worship. I hope everybody got that point. Work, whatever the work, is not automatically worship. Everybody, hopefully you got it. When work is done with the value you calculate of dutifulness, I'm serving Krishna's family. You try to see your family as a devotee. And then you don't have any expectation, detachment, and you have a devotion to Krishna, then it becomes a form of worship. This is very important. This is the essence of this. Now, we are in this world. 3 ways you can do it. Try to love Krishna in the world. Don't think you're going to jump over material fence and there is Krishna. No, not like this. This is also Krishna's world. Krishna comes to this world. He is in your heart. He is in every atom. Why? Because He cares for us. So we have to learn how to love Krishna in the world. And we have to love Krishna through the world. When we face world challenge purposefully, we develop and demonstrate earnestness of our devotion. And in the crucible of the world's challenge, our love for Krishna crystallizes from amorphous sentiment to resilient dedication. And the third thing is, you love Krishna with the world. With the world means, what do you have? You have material things, everything composed by material. Vegetable, subject, whatever, you have a house, a body, these are all material. But offer that, it will become spiritualized. So you will reach, definitely will reach God, Krishna, not by rejecting the world. You don't have to reject anything of this world, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, but by loving Him in the world, through the world, and with the world. I'll end here. I have a couple minutes. If there is a further discussion, I also want to hear some reflection. What you have got, did I try to serve anything that you will take away that you can apply.
Thank you so much, Pran Govind Prabhu, for this wonderful sessions. How you have really taken the concept of sense gratification for the devotees, and how Krishna's assurance for devotees that even though what kind of desire we have, Krishna definitely try to fulfill so that we can transcend. Just like example of Dhruv Maharaj gave, and how Krishna consciousness actually can provide all the facility a devotee can have. Right, and how practical application that Krishna consciousness can apply and convert the work into worship. Not just like work is a worship, but how to really convert that into worship, doing the action and the dutifulness of Krishna. Very interesting thing. And also you mentioned a lot of things, how we can attain perfection through performing our own work. So thank you for so many wonderful points and sharing. I just like to share my screen for two seconds before the question. All the devotees, anybody has any questions, please write in the chat or you can ask. I'll just update our upcoming programs. So we have our program this coming Wednesday. We have His Grace Das Gadadhar Prabhu. We know that he's an amazing speaker. We have done 10 sessions of chanting of holy name with him. Definitely you don't want to miss his sessions. He's amazing speaker. So every week as we have Bhakti Vrikshas, please join the program. I think based on devotees preference, that can be in person or will be virtual based on the groups. And also you can join every morning 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. anytime you can join between this time to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is a very wonderful opportunity to chant with devotees. And every day from Monday to Friday from 12 p.m. to 12:15 we have Bhagavad-Gita reading. Please utilize this opportunity to read the entire Bhagavad-Gita. And as every Sunday we'll have our virtual programs. As today we have His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu. Thank you so much. So anybody has any questions, you can raise your hands. I can see Purna Mataji. Please go ahead and ask question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna Mata.
I have a question. You portrayed that bhakti is the topmost priority when you compare to doing anything, service or donations. So by doing that, you can achieve your you can get closer to Krishna. So my question, what do you say, and you mentioned that, if you make donations, you have to come to this world again to get that. But if it is nishkam, nishkam means you don't have any, desire to get back from those donations. How do you compare that?
I used to live in San Diego, Mata, near Cage Session Park, and in La Jolla. And there's a uphill, there's a little park, nice park, okay. Cage Session Park. Mm-hmm. So I used to walk almost every day, or at least for a few minutes, and Sunday, of course, I used to chant and do. So then one astrologer, famous astrologer, Briguma, used to come from India, Hoshiarpur to Alachua. So she also stopped at Los Angeles. So I went to see her one time. So I was asking, we are having conversation, how one person get the super lotto? That was 20 years back or 22 years. Mm-hmm. She said, just like near your house, there's a Cage Session Park. I said, yes. He said, you told me the story. I said, yes. He said, so this lady donated this park. It appears like Nishkam Karma Yoga. She donated the park. And now if you charge $1 for each person entrance, it would be by the time 20, 30 years, it would be probably few $1 million. So next life, she told me, according to Janmabad, what I understand, she studied a lot about karma. She said she has to come back and take a birth somewhere poverty stricken, and maybe she will buy a super lotto and she will get a super lotto ticket. Now, how did she get qualified? Well, she donated this park. It appears like Nishkam karma, you can say, but she has to get rewarded. How she will get rewarded? If she is born with a rich family, she will not get rewarded. She has to born in a poor family and buy a super lotto, and all of a sudden she get $10 million.
Okay.
Is
So
that
that
a
is
good
for
idea?
sure.
I'm asking to you, is that a good idea? I have to come back again to this material world.
No, no.
It makes
But
sense?
so it does make sense, but by doing so, we are providing resources to poor people. If we do nishkam, we have sometime like we have, surplus money, which may not, which is exceeding what we need, in material life, right? So we can donate, like, clothes, food. We do donations, all this, like nearby, our community service also, like we do that. So
That
you
is
think,
nice, but if you donate prasadam, you are purifying their consciousness. Then you are not entitled for any result. Karmanyavadi karaste. Next verse, whoever recite will explain this. Next verse 47. Karmanyavadi karaste mafaleshu kadachana. So you are not entitled to the result if you do through Krishna consciousness. But if you don't do through Krishna consciousness, you are entitled for the result.
so you mean prasad is okay?
Yes, anything. Even donating clothes to the poor people for Krishna's blessing, you can make them chanting and you give them some clothes. It's okay, all right.
But I didn't get it. Like you just said, the lady donated park, and then in the next birth she got, she bought a lottery ticket, and then she became a millionaire.
Yes.
So that.
But nobody knows what she did last life. She donated a park, and that park everybody likes to go because it's up on the hill to see the view. And if she would have charged $1, she would be getting multi-million anyway by the time her next life comes. So it's accumulated.
Okay. So you mean that donation was not done through Krishna consciousness?
Right.
Okay. So whatever donation we do through Krishna consciousness, that is okay, right? That is not entitling us to coming back to this material world. Correct.
And that is ultimate benefit for you and to them, whoever you feeding or giving something. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's a very nice question. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to understand more. Like, when you say through Krishna consciousness, like we are having in our brain, that this is to the Lord service, right? We are by doing the humanity, we are doing Lord service. It is not for our benefit. It is just, nishkam, basically, right? I think that's a pure donation. When we do something, something in return, that does not become, that is, I think the other day we had a lecture, and then they explained what is the difference between spiritual, I'm forgetting, spiritual and material, something I'm forgetting actually, but yeah, I get that. So
Humility.
See, on Bhagavad-Gita, if you have access of Bhagavad-Gita, you can look at it 18.5. Krishna express what you are actually asking. Krishna already answered there. Say, Jaggadhana tapo karma. Na tejattam karjam evatat. Jaggadhana tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. We are not condemning if the tendency to give charity or austerity, people like to do those. It's a natural. So Krishna says, but Krishna did not say just do it. He said act of sacrifice, charity, penance, are not to be given up, he says. They must be performed. Indeed, he says, sacrifice, charity, penance, purify even the great souls.
Yeah.
But there is an art on it. If you take the credit, I am doing it, I am doing for me, you will be bound to come to get the result.
Yeah,
But if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing it for pleasing Krishna, they are Krishna's children, they need food, they need facility. Just like Prabhupada told Dr. Patel, in Bombay, we didn't have the temple that time. He said, you see these homeless children, why don't you and your wife make some arrangement so they can come to temple? We didn't have a temple, but they used to come, all these homeless children, few. Says they make them, give them a nice clothes, nice place to live, and they can become devotee. So the tendency can be used for Krishna, but that will purify his heart, the children's future, everybody benefits because Krishna will be pleased.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you for
this is very
explaining.
good. This is very good. We should not give up those tendencies if we have. We should engage it in
Okay.
Krishna's service. Thank you, Mata. It was a wonderful,
Thank you.
nice question.
Thank you so much for the Mataji, for wonderful questions. We have another question by Gopal Govind. Please go ahead, Gopal Govind.
Hare Krishna, Pran Govind Prabhu. Please accept my obeisances. Very nice discussion. So much full of knowledge. Thank you so much. There were many points to touch upon. One of the things I would like to ask is about the desires. You mentioned an example also of one of the Prabhupada disciple and Dhruv Maharaj example you mentioned with that. And we also hear from many of the senior Vaishnavas that if we have any desires, we should overcome those desires, get over those desires in this life so that they don't cling on of us to the end of the life. So question is that how you are transcending these desires, because at one point you mentioned, if desires are there, let there be, but continue your sadhana. So I'm just curious to expand on that and interested in. Thank you.
Very nice question, Prabhu. All the devotees are very intelligent. If you look at scrutinizedly, you detect the desire you have or anybody has, where it's coming from. First you search out. See, we have two impression right now with us. One impression that carrying so many lives, we are carrying those impressions. I want to enjoy like this, I want to enjoy like this, I hate this type of people, I love this type of people, like so many combinations, so many lives. These are called Praktan Sanskar. And then you have a Adhunik Sanskar, how you were raised this life, what kind of friends you have. You are getting the impression through them, from your upbringing, childhood life, and through your association with the people you are hanging around or associating with. So if you look at 1860, what did Krishna say? Very nice. He says, Sabhavajena kunteya nivaddasena karmana kartum nechashi jadmohat karsheshi avasha apitat. So you ask a question, Prabhu, to yourself. You will find the answer. The question you should ask, do we choose our interest or do our interest choose us? Did you get my point, Prabhu? You ask that question to yourself, because we all can think of several things in our life are important for us, but just don't interest us. Yes, we can increase our interest in them by repeatedly doing those things and by associating with individuals who are deeply interested in those things. Still, such consciously cultivated interest may never become as strong as our natural interest. Do you get it, what I'm trying to say? A grown-up boy, wants to talk to a girl. Even though he's like a feeling urges within him, he should wonder where it's coming from. I'm not contemplating this, but it's coming like naturally, like uncontrollable. So these are very important, solid questions. That's why Krishna told Arjuna, Sabhava Jena Kunteya, you are born with a combination of modes, particular nature, you will act. Krishna didn't say the choice he should make, but Prabhupada put in the purport, if I recall. Prabhupada said, Arjuna, Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna, you have a two choice. Either you fight for me or you will fight for Maya. But you cannot give up Maya. I mean, fighting for tendency. So we are not fighting with the desire what we have or we don't have. We are trying to engage it in Krishna's service. Otherwise, you will engage those in Maya's service. So choice is individually up to us. And whole Krishna consciousness is nothing but encouraging them, hey, engage your propensity, whatever it is. May not be able to myself understand how to engage some propensity. You may need a senior devotee to translate how we can do that. But you cannot stop or escape from those desires strongly that, craving is more than desire, like craving, craving, the idea craving. I want it. I have to have it. So that's why we have to adopt Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, you will ask the question, can I order our desires? The word order can have two meanings, instruction or arrangement. Isn't? You have to take medicine 3 times a day. What is that? It's the doctor's order, instruction. Arrangement, the order of events for the day are posted on the notice board. To understand how these two sense of order can help in managing desire, you can think deeply. Let's compare desires with people we are to meet or wherever you meet. Suppose during a day, we have to meet several people. We too are eager to meet. They are very eager to meet us. So we may not be in a position to order some of these people. I'm sure you experienced that sometime. They may be our superior or equals. Still, we can create some order for our day by assessing how important those people are and how urgent their issues are. Then, even if someone insists aggressively that they want to meet right away, we won't passively cave into their demand. We can treat our various desires like different people who wants to meet us. Some desires may be too strong for us to reject with a flat no order. Still, just because they are insisting doesn't mean we give them time first. Leave alone, give them the most time or all our time. And saying no to them will be much easier if we have already kept in mind other meetings that matter more for us. I'm sure you probably do that. Or at least you try to do that, right? So while we may still need willpower to manage our desire, We can manage many other desires by carefully contemplating our priorities. To aid us in such prioritization, we can take guidance from wisdom texts like Bhagavad-Gita. And such guidance is foundational for restraining our destructive desires. I'm from my own practical sense. I mean, I literally read everyday Bhagavad-Gita just to understand more and more. And I see my desire literally like controllable, no more disappointed. So my bottom line is that if we order our desire by arranging them according to intelligent priority, we can manage them without needing to always order them by raw will. I don't know if that helps you.
Of course, certainly, Prabhuji, you give wonderful answers, so many subtle examples and elaboration. Thank you so much. I will think and will try to understand that as well. It's a very, very interesting topic as well. The desires.
Yes.
Prabhupada mentioned that desires does not go away. Even in the spiritual world, you go low, you go, desires will be still there. So, so it was
From
nice.
that angle, Prabhu, we are Satchidananda. Chit means it has a two function. Desire comes from our heart. Also, the impression also stays in our heart. So you have to be very careful. You can create the desire. More you create the desire to serve Krishna or serve the devotees, you'll see the other desire will be subordinate to that. We do this. I do this. I'm practically telling you. Desire is eternal. You cannot destroy desire. It is not possible. Also, you cannot, in a sense, you cannot control what is coming through you. But you do have a choice what to focus on.
Yeah, that is the key.
I'm sure you probably sat down in one place, so many things passing through your mind. Oh, what happened to this person? What happened there? What did you feel like, where is this coming from? I'm not planning. Why this? We are not here controller. Krishna is a controller. But we have a choice to focus what desire will focus and what desire will not focus. We can learn that, isn't it? We do this as a devotee. Yes. Thank you. That was a very nice question.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I see Madhava Prabhu has a raised hand.
Madhava Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much for your lecture, Prabhuji. I'm very grateful. Prabhuji, my question is that in the same line that just like how Arjuna, how he didn't want to fight, either you fight for Krishna or you fight for Maya, like that. So in the same way, how do we with lust, either we are in lust with Maya, but how do we dovetail our lust for Krishna?
It's easy if you do good sadhana, because willpower has to be there. Willpower can be very strong. You have a good sadhana. If you chant every day, good association, you will have a strong willpower. Because lust is something almost formidable, Krishna says, or proper translated. Two ways you can do. You can divert it, and you can also engage to purify it. But in order not to fall for it, you have to have a good, strong willpower sadhana. If you have a good sadhana, you can say, it's okay, I know I'm feeling, but I don't have to act on it. It's a dummy question, like if you see a fire, you may feel like to touch it, but you don't touch it. Why? You can see the burn and pain before you even touch it. Isn't? So you have to also start seeing it. If you proceed little more, now you may not be able to control what is passing through your mind about the girl or whatever, the text or WhatsApp message, whatever, somebody send you something intriguing your lust. You may not be able to stop that, generally not. You can literally think you are not responsible for the bad thought within you, but you are responsible for their dominance on you. Can you understand the difference? You are not responsible for a bad thought. As you mentioned last, so many bad thoughts may come, opposite sex and this, that, whatever. You are not responsible actually. Krishna will not punish you, neither you will be punished, karmically. But you are responsible for their dominance. Dominance means, okay, you got unnecessary text from some girl. For an example, I'm giving you like a straight talk. Now you think like, oh, that will be nice, but I should not, it's not good. But I wonder what it will be if I answer. Now you're allowing yourself to contemplate. Can you relate to me? I come from I was your age also one day, someday I was. So if you allow yourself to contemplate, then you are putting yourself in danger. And you will be responsible for that. But if you have a good sadhana, you say, I don't want to bother with it. This is not something I need to focus right now. You can literally come out of it without further. You cannot stop Maya to send you all these things, but you can stop contemplating on these things. Now somebody will say, how is possible? I am doing it. It's not like I'm not a robot. So many things pass through. Politics, offensive, not only lust, like so many things. But I have a very clear cut. And it works, Prabhu. So if you have a good sadhana, you will be successful.
Thank you,
And
Prabhu.
Prabhu, another thing is the most important for your age. I don't know how old you are. Good
19.
association. 19, very prime age. Be careful. One sannyasi told me that 19 is like a banana. Every monkey wants to eat it. It's like they will be like swallowed by the material nature. As a Basudev Maharaj. I say, why do you come up with this example, Maharaj? This is hilarious. They say, yeah, that's the age. I said, okay. So, literally, if you do not have a good association, good devotee who are serious in spiritual life, you will be succumbed. It's not, I'm not cursing you, Prabhu, please forgive me. I'm just not scaring you, but I'm telling you the fact. If you have a bad association, because amongst the devotees even, sometimes not necessarily all their association are spiritual. So if you have a good association, you will be protected. And you have a good sadhana and good association, yes. Even if you have a good sadhana but bad association, little risky. So tell me, what are the two things you're going to focus on to protect yourself?
So first is good sadhana and association.
Good association. Those who are
Very good.
serious in spiritual life. Thank you. You made me happy, Prabhu.
Please pray
Very
for
good.
me.
You got it.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madhav Prabhu. Anybody has any other questions? Please.
I got some reflection from Ram Tulsi Prabhu. Anybody else has any reflection? What are you taking away from this class so you can apply in your life? One more reflection. Because I give you a little warning. If you don't have a reflection, the knowledge will never go to head from ear.
So
And
we
if you
have
don't have in the head, you cannot take it to the heart, because that's the route. Hearing, contemplating, reflecting, it goes to the head. Then you applying, realized, it goes to the heart. You transform. 6.8 Bhagavad-Gita explains this. Jnana Vijnana. Okay, I see too. Oh, Mother Bhashwati from Tampa joined. Yes, Mother Bhashwati.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Very nice class, Prabhuji, as always. Prabhuji, I have to ask, not ask, like reflections that whatever in this material world we are doing, we have to keep in mind that we are doing everything for Krishna's pleasure. So we apply, we have to apply our all the work what we are doing for pleasing Krishna. Like we have to apply such a way so that it will relate not directly but maybe indirectly to the work what we are doing for bhakti. So that's what I understood, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, I have a question, though it's like maybe kind of different, but I'd like to ask, like, who are more fortunate? A rich devotee who has a lot of money and they can donate and feel like happy that they are donating for Krishna's purpose, or a devotee who are poor, just living with a very limited amount of money, can't donate but has a desire to serve Krishna. So who is the fortunate one?
You already know the answer. You just want me to tell you probably. I'm sure you know the answer. Whoever is more closer to Krishna is not a rich and poor. Whoever is pleasing Krishna more are the most fortunate. Because constitutionally, that's who we are, our relationship with them. Fortune means they are closest to Krishna. That's why in Vedic culture, they say Brahmana is higher than Sudra. So I was researching, what is Brahmana? Why Brahmana are higher than Sudra? What's wrong with the Sudra? But then Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur says, Brahmana means they hear what God has to say. And Sudra doesn't like to hear. I say, oh, makes sense. Because constitutionally, we are with Krishna in loving service. But conditionally, we are far away from Krishna. So constitutional and conditional. There has to be a bridge called cognitional. So those who are listening, they are cognitional. They are more higher than Sudra. Not because somebody born in a Brahman family. No, those who are eager to hear what Krishna has to say, they are higher. It makes sense? Not Sudra is less. They are not less. They are not interested to hear. That's why they are less. So from that angle, you already know the answer. Those who are more close to Krishna, they are the most fortunate. It has nothing to do with material opulence or not opulence. I tell you something, a good example of ISKCON. Ambarish Prabhu, maybe his wife will hear someday. We're good friend, Ambarish Prabhu, the Ford. And so I asked him, I said, I would not give that much what you gave. He had a $30 million he inherited. He didn't have any other money in the beginning. $30 million. For TOBP, he wrote the check, $25 million. If I have $100,000, if temple needs money, I will not give 90,000 like that. I'll give maybe 10,000. I'm being honest to him. I told him, I said, how did you just write 25 out of 30? He said, I love Prabhupada. What else is there in life? So we had a long talk. And then I see where he's coming from. Such a dedication. Then it affected me. Probably he pushed me a little bit. That's how I also got out of, material attachment. And because they have so many devotees in our movement, has so much love and devotion and dedication to Krishna and Prabhupada. This is very exemplary right now. I'm glad I'm born in a particular time where I have those exalted devotees around us. If I was born 500 years back, if I didn't meet Lord Chaitanya, I was there in this world, I didn't meet Lord Chaitanya. So I have no idea what will be the feeling that time. But I'm very happy. The association we had, such a nice. I see Kalavacha Sridhar Prabhu, you have a raised hand.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
just
Prabhu.
want to ask you about sometimes we expect with our God brothers or maybe senior devotees, we expect to do some service with them, and maybe the service is not well done for many factors. So how we should feel about it? We should desire to correct the other devotee. We should accept it as Krishna's arrangements. Please, maybe you can help.
Prabhu, what I understand from Krishna's explanation in Bhagavad-Gita, we should always inspire, whether senior or junior or peer, doesn't matter. But we have to also know their nature. Like a Brahmana, if you tell them that Shastra said this, how to understand? They will correct themselves immediately. Now, if they have a Kshatriya nature, you may praise them. You are a good leader, you are a GVC, or you are a sannyasi, or it is very nice, exalted when you display this kind of, because we want to see in you. You may be seeing he doesn't have, or he doesn't act properly. You say the devotee are interested to learn the behavior. So if you display those behavior, we are eager to see that. Instead of correcting them, you are kind of indirectly, in one sense you are correcting, indirectly you are inspiring them. And they pay attention. And I tell you, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, not because he's my cousin, I love him a lot, but we had some kind of very close talk. One time he was going to give class in Alachua temple. So he called me, he says, they have somebody else giving class. I said, yes, Maharaj. And that Mataji is very senior disciple of Prabhupada, your God or your God sister. It's up to you. But definitely in Alachua, they always appreciate the respect and proper etiquette, and you are a good example of that. And after 2 hours, Maharaj called, she is a senior to me, I will come to listen her class, and then I'll give next day class. I said, Maharaj, that is wonderful. I think they will appreciate a lot. Now, Maharaj has a right. He's a GVC, he's a guru. He can say, no, I want to give class today. But the way I was not trying to inspire, he is inspiring me, but I felt like to mention him because I live here. I see all those devotees. And Maharaj behaved so nice. It became a good example. And that Mataji told me later, he's so humble. He's such a wonderful sannyasi in our movement. These are like a value I count. When senior devotee appreciate another senior devotee's good quality, it inspires us also to appreciate. Because you obviously has an interest, Prabhu, to see that leader, whoever you're talking about, that he is performing his service as a leader, whether it's a managerial leader or spiritual leader. Obviously, you care for him. Otherwise, you would not even ask that question. You care, you have an affection for that authority, and you will find a way, you pray to Krishna and Prabhupada, and you will find a way to inspire that authority, that he or she, I don't know who it is, will behave that way, that will benefit both of us. It makes sense, Prabhu?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.